I want to speak to you today, especially you young men navigating your way through this modern world. Because there's a lot of noise out there, a lot of voices telling you what it means to be a man and how to be successful and how to be powerful. And I'll be honest, most of what you're hearing is a trap. And here's why. It's easy to get pulled into the loudest voices because they're the ones that flash the wealth, and the status and the power, as if they're the markers of real strength. But I want to remind you of something that is rooted in values and in purpose and wisdom that's passed down through generations. Its true strength is that it's quiet and it's grounded and deeply connected to who you inherently are. So this isn't a message about following trends or mimicking influencers, which I understand is just part of growing up. That's what you'll do. You'll find a role model. You'll find somebody to emulate, especially if they are doing the things that you dream about doing. Like when you're young, it's all about this fantasy of a life that you can live. And when somebody puts it out there, it looks like, yeah, this is the best thing going on. I mean, that's how we are conditioned in this society, right? And if you're a young man and you've gotten this far already, congratulations, because it's not easy to listen to this kind of talk. But I challenge you, to actually listen to what I'm saying, right? This is about finding the kind of strength that makes you unshakable, the kind of leadership that lifts others up, and the kind of purpose that aligns you with life in its entirety. So we can explore what that looks like, right? Just through having this conversation. So I'm not saying being successful isn't worthy. Yes, be successful, make your money, do the things that are necessary and needed. But in today's society, there's a tendency to mistake the noise of all that as being strength, as being like the one who has it. You've probably seen it. Like there's men that shout the loudest about their accomplishments, their money, their possessions, the women, their dominance over people, the control. You see it everywhere. They project that image of success and power, but what they're really doing is they're covering up all of their insecurities. That's really what's happening. Here's a truth that is rooted in some wisdom that was taught to me. The most dangerous and capable of men in the room is never the loudest. The loudest man is often the one that's the most unsure of himself. The loudest man is the one that has to put up a front to disguise, to fake what is really going on inside. Because he's trying to convince others, and he's trying to convince himself. More importantly, he's trying to convince himself that he's strong, because deep down, he's not sure. He's insecure, and he doesn't actually believe it. So it's just bluffing. And that works a lot. Bluffs can work, just like taunts or anything else, right? Freaking play the video game. Those are the kind of the two hallmarks of the tank, right? Bluff and taunt. But anyway, the true strength, I just want to get back to that, doesn't need to be boastful. A grounded man doesn't need to shout about his worth, because his actions and his presence and his integrity will speak for him. The world might celebrate the loud, flashy men because they can make a buck off of you, because you believe that's where you need to be, or you believe that's who you want to be. But the men who truly make a difference, who lead their families and serve their communities and live with honor, they're the quiet ones. And I don't mean they're just introverted. I just mean they're steadily on the grind, doing their thing, working without anybody knowing. And those are the ones that often too have the best relationships and are the most capable in diverse situations. Any kind of situation, those are normally the ones that you want to have beside you. So let's continue on. Let's say, like, another trap being laid out for you young men today is the idea that your worth is measured by how much money you have, or that you make, by this bank account of imaginary numbers, how many material possessions you have, the type of car you got, how your lady looks, like all these things. Now let me be clear. It's nothing wrong with building that stable life, or providing for your family, or enjoying the things that you want with your own money. Enjoy that. Enjoy the harvest of your labor, of course. But when money and status become the sole measure of who you are, not just your success, but of like who you are, you lost the plot, my bro. You got drunk off your own juice. You got lost in the sauce, you know? So some voices out there will tell you that if you're not rich, you're either lazy or you're a fool. And that if you don't own the luxury cars or have the massive houses or extravagant possessions, that you've somehow failed as a man. Well, let me tell you, wealth does not make you a man. And I've met billionaires. And these billionaires, they're the most quiet of people until you get them talking. When you actually have a sit down and you get them talking, they really just need to talk too. But because not many people can understand them, but they are normally the most quiet people because they're thinking and perceiving the world in a totally different place. So if you think that your measurement of a man is how much wealth you have, just know that there's billionaires out there who don't even think like that at all, and they have more money than you do. So if you want to put yourself in those odds of your identity, you're always going to be a loser. I don't want you to feel that. I don't want to feel that. I wouldn't want you to do that to yourself. So what really is the hallmark of the man? What really is the thing that makes a man who they are? Well, your values do. Your character does. The way you treat others, the way you carry yourself, and that legacy that you leave behind. That's what defines you. I talk a lot about ancestors because, they were here before us and they gave us a lot of good messages, and many of our ancestors that carried these values and had these characters and treated others the way we want to be treated and carried themselves with dignity, knowing that they were leaving a legacy, and they defined themselves upon their purpose and their soul project. Those ancestors didn't measure their worth by their possessions. They measured it by their ability to serve their people, protect their family, and honor the land that they were on for what they received. They knew that leadership wasn't about what you could take, but about what you could give. And that's the importance of grounded leadership. Have you ever watched the show Yellowstone? It's pretty good. It's kind of like how I see the Duttons sometimes in some ways, and I like that show. But there's many other examples of like this grounded leadership. I just brought that up because that's the most recent thing I have. But I also carry these values for myself because the teachings and the learnings that I received from as a young man, I continuously have to work on them and readdress and reanalyze and reassert them because the society wants me to do otherwise. So I have to find a healthy balance of achieving great wealth while still being grounded, right? Because to be a leader in this world starts with being grounded in who you are. A grounded man knows his value and he knows his values. He doesn't have to go around saying he's an alpha. He doesn't have to go around saying that he's a high value man. He doesn't have to keep bluffing. He doesn't have to keep showing up larger and bigger because of his own securities. He doesn't chase the trend or let the opinions of others dictate his path. Instead, he moves with purpose, guided by his inner compass. No matter what anybody else says, even if it's your closest friend, if they don't understand that you've been working on guiding yourself and seeing what's around you, and that you're fully focused on bringing value into your life and to others, they'll understand. If they don't, then they're not your friend. So true leadership can be quiet and powerful at the same time. It's not about being the man. It's not about being the man amongst other men to always have that in you. It's about being the man who others can trust, who others can lean on in times of need. It's about showing up, right, for that relationship, for your family, your community, and for yourself. Loud proclamations, don't do that. Loud proclamations only make you look weaker, but steady, consistent actions, that's powerful. That makes you strong. So leadership should never be about dominance. It should always be about service. Okay, a leader in many ways was the one who took responsibility for the well-being of others. Okay, in many ways. It wasn't the entirety of that, but yeah, they took responsibility because they became a leader because they had the capacity, the competency for themselves to know how to handle things. And they were the most adaptable. They could address any situation and do it with calm and calculated and understand a strategy and a method to get to the desired outcome, right? So when you can do that, now you can be responsible for other people because not everybody knows how to do that for themselves. So that's what a leader does. They're the ones who can listen deeply and act on it in alignment. Purpose-driven, results-focused, value-centered, right? And make those decisions that would benefit not just the present, but the future generations. So be wary of false teachers. As you navigate this society, you'll encounter men who present themselves as a mentor or leader. They'll promise you wealth and success and confidence, but their actions reveal their true motives. If someone tells you that they want to help you, but they charge you a high price for that help, especially when they already have more than enough, they're not a teacher. They're a salesman. All right? I'm here as a mentor and as a coach, and I'm not living millions of dollar mansions or flashing my wealth or anything like that. I have money, but as a person that's here, I provide more than I've been of service to more things than I've ever received back from directly. I receive in many other ways. That's why I consider myself wealthy, right? But a true mentor doesn't exploit others. A true leader doesn't build his success on the backs of those who are struggling. So be wary of anyone who flaunts their wealth and their possessions or their dominance as proof of their worth, because that's not leadership. That's ego. That's easily ego. And the loudest man in the room may grab your attention because that's what loudness does. But they are rarely the ones who will lead you to your purpose. So seek out those who live with humility, who have a sense of themselves authentically, and are able to drive forward something that they embody naturally, and their values that should inspire you and hope to aspire for, right? So this is what I believe, you young men, if you're still listening, nice work, that you truly need. Young men today don't need more money or status symbols. They need wisdom. They need more life experience, and they need role models who can teach them how to live with something called honor. It used to be cool back in the day. It used to be something that mattered. And I think if we come back to an honor-based system, then we'll start seeing all the things that are purposeful, healthy, enlivening, enriching, giving yourself and others a way to have respect and to build that beautiful life that doesn't have to be part of the rat race or competing against somebody to just make your ends meet. So in Hawaii, we have this word called tupuna or kupuna. It's our elders. They taught us that a man's worth didn't simply reside in just what he imagined for himself that he needed. It wasn't measured by what he owned, but it was more so by what he could give, and in the way that he could serve and he could protect, the way he could uplift others around him. That's the kind of leadership that I'm wanting to express to you that leaves a lasting legacy. So if you're struggling to find your way, start asking yourself, what kind of a man do I want to be? Right? What values do I want to live by? How can I serve others? Right? While staying true to myself. The answers that you come up with to these questions will guide you far more than the flashy watches and the big cars and the loud outspoken noise of social media influencers or so-called mentors or whatever, who only care about their own image. And I just want to be clear. It's like I'm here to provide this for you in hopes that you can make changes on your own, but I'm also here to help. Because I've been there for young men. I've been able to help thousands of men across the world through my work. So I'm just trying to help you along the way. And while it's there too, the path forward is determined by you, because now you have more awareness, right? You have more experience and knowledge, and then that's what creates the wisdom. So I'm not here to tell you what to do. Your path is your own. It's up to you to walk it, but I will leave you with messages and good conversation. The strongest man is the one who knows who he is and stands firmly in that. 10 toes. Standing on business no matter what the world throws at him. And be wary of the loud voices that promise you the world but ask you to sacrifice your own values and your own presence of yourself, right? Real strength and real leadership and real success comes from living with the purpose of what your alignment is, to serve others and stay grounded in your values, right? So just be wise. Think critically. Don't fall for those flashy promises or those shallow definitions of success. Just have to build your strength, especially at a young age, quietly. I mean, yeah, be out there, do the things too. I'm not saying, hush your mouth. I just mean, look around you and see what actions really speak for themselves and what you want to be about. Can you serve your family and honor your community and live in that alignment with who you know you want to be? Be who you needed when you were younger. The world doesn't need more loud, more loud men, more arrogance, none of that. We just need more grounded, humble, purpose-driven leaders. And you can be one of them. You don't need to be obnoxious. Being proud is good. Have pride. Stand tall. Live with honor. Walk your path with courage. And if you keep doing that and stay consistent, just remember, keep it small, right? Start small, but keep it simple. And just make it effective and be consistent. And I'll see you next time.